Hola amigos, this is Level 12, and today we are going to be talking about ranking the gang from Avatar The Last Airbender. Now, just a quick disclaimer, these are all of my opinions. This is everything that I think about the gang. You may rank them in a different order, and you may have different opinions. That's great, and I would love if you would tell me about them in the comments, but just don't get angry at me is all I'm saying. Anyway, so there's 6 of them, so number 6 is Suki. Listen, I really feel like Suki got the short end of the stick with the gang situation. Technically, she is part of the gang. She was in that little bubble of them together. So, yes, I know she's there with them and she's part of them, but she's the least utilized and least remembered member of the gang. It's really hard to find fan art of the gang, including her, because so many people forget about her. 1, she's not a bender. 2, she comes and goes through episodes, which for me is part of the reason she's number 6. We don't really get a lot of Suki, and we don't get a lot of her even in The Legend of Korra from the 4 or 5 episodes that I watched of The Legend of Korra. By the way, this video definitely is going to be out after The Legend of Korra comes to Netflix, but The Legend of Korra is on Netflix, hopefully, when this comes out. But yeah, she just seems very underused, and I feel bad for her character in that sense, but it also just makes me not like her that much, because we see her in 1 episode in season 1, 2 or 3 in season 2, and then in season 3 she's there for the last couple, and it's very hard for me to like her, because she's probably, in my opinion, one of the more useless members of the gang, because first of all, she doesn't really have that much of a character arc. She starts out as a strong female and she ends as a strong female. Wow, what a great character arc. She just felt like filler, really. They needed some kind of Deus Ex Machina character. Suki fit that mold, and it's such a waste of space and character and dialogue and all that jazz. Number 5 is Aang, and listen, I wrestled between where to put Aang, Sokka, and Katara because I love them all in the same sphere of togetherness, but I eventually just had to do, okay, how much did this character influence me? Which character would I like to hang out with? Character arc. So Aang, his character arc is just growing up and becoming more mature, because when we first see him, he's very immature, he doesn't know his surroundings, and through the show, we see him maturing more and more, and that's great and all, but Aang is very optimistic and kind to a fault, and that kind of annoys me. I understand he's embodying this monk kind of character, and he's embodying optimism and pacifism and trying to solve things peacefully and being the avatar and living up to his name and all of that. I get that, but I still don't like his decision of how he handled the Fire Lord, okay? Just my opinion on that. And because he's kind to a fault, I don't think he's been taken advantage of, but that kind of kindness can easily get him killed. I feel like that's what happened to some of the past avatars. They were so nice to other people, it got them killed. Number 4 is Sokka, and I really like Sokka's character arc. Now, a lot of it was super quick, I will admit, in the first season, but he learns to become more competent and less cocky, but more confident, if you know what I mean. And I like that about him. I also like that he's a sword master. I love bladed weapons, especially swords and daggers and stuff, and he's really great with swords, or at least he learned to be. And he really learned to rely on his friends, because previously he was very hot-headed and very, I am going to do this my way, and he learned to rely on people. He's number 4 because I think he would wear on my nerves as well. That always kind of has to be funny, quirky, always talking character would definitely wear on me. I can't handle those people all the time, and I'm just please shut up. But overall, I think he's a good guy, and I think he added a lot to the series, and he added a lot of jokes and fun stuff, and he was when he had to be, he could be stern and just guided and directed, and when he wanted to be, he could be goofy and funny and eating a lot of food. Number 3 is Katara, and I really think Katara more the idea of her is what I love the most. I love that she's a motherly kind of character, but also she can break bad. Like, my favorite moment in the entire season is one when she, in the entire show, is when she learns to bloodbend, and when she like stops the rain around the guy. Like, her ability to control water and water bending in general is what sparked my first OC, and I used it for Dragon Ball. I didn't use it for Avatar The Last Airbender, but she inspired so much of what I like about characters and how I, in the magic systems that I use in my head when I want to be cool. It's just, I love her, and she's influenced me so much with how I play on MMO games when I used to do that, and she's influenced how I write my characters, how my characters control their powers. She's just a very influential character, and I can't give her enough credit for that. The reason she's number 3 is because while she's very nice and she had this very good character arc, she's also, in the beginning, kind of that cookie cutter good female character. Now, as the series went on and she saw more of the world, she kind of changed, and it's good that she changed, but like, she is kind of cookie cutter, but what are you gonna do? It's a show for kids. Number 2 is Zuko, and I think a lot of us just like Zuko. I loved his character arc. I can argue with you why he had the best character arc. And he was always the good person. It was his father that changed him and showed him he needed to be cruel, really, if you like think about it and see his childhood and how he was. And it was really like his father and his sister that really pushed this bad guy narrative on him. But I also think Zuko is what the gang needed. Zuko, like Sokka, is a very serious character, but he also, like, he still kind of has his volatile nature. He didn't, like, do a complete 180 to how he was when he was a child, but he changed enough to where he still, like, holds those scars of his father, but also knows how to use it for good now, and it's just, Zuko is just, it's so hard to explain why I love him, because I can project a lot of myself on him, like the outcast. I also use fire a lot, and the way he bends fire is also how, listen, my OC is basically just Katara's power and Zuko's power mixed into one, and it's really the way he does it that I like use the character. He's made a big impression on me, is just what I'm saying. Finally, number 1, we have Toph. And Toph is my favorite character and always has been. Because, 1, she's super, like, you underestimate her pretty quickly. Like, when you see her step into that arena, you're like, ooh, really? Is this what she's doing? But, and I love those kind of characters. And she's super strong, and she can back up her trash talk. She's a master earthbender, and she's great, but she's also blind. And like, I keep on forgetting in the series that she's blind, but the creators did a really good job of showing her disability and, you know, making jokes about it, but not like making her the butt of the joke, but her making the jokes of her being blind, and but that disability didn't necessarily stop her. I love those kinds of stories. Also, her being kind of like sad and lonely in her childhood. I mean, I wasn't sad and lonely, but I love those kinds of stories as well. She's just such a strong character, and she didn't back down from her positions, and she stayed really great and tough, and it's just, I love her. She's so funny, and she's tough, and she has such high confidence, and it's that confidence that I wish I had. I love her so much. She's so great. Now, to be fair, she didn't have much of a character arc. I mean, she did become a little less, you know, selfish and a little more, you know, friendly, but she didn't have this major character dynamic change like Zuko or Sokka or Katara. Hers was a lot softer, and I feel like Toph got done dirty. I remember, because I have all of Avatar The Last Airbender on DVD, and one night I just binged so many episodes, and this, like, week long of me binging the entire first season, because I would watch, like 5 episodes in one night, and she had so few lines for how great of a character she is. Like, she's the last member of the gang to get introduced, not to become part of the gang, but to, like, show her on screen. So she gets so, like, pushed to the wayside with her lines and her dialogue, and she didn't even get her adventures with Zuko. Even Suki technically got her field trip with Zuko. Granted, those were kind of filler episodes, but they were good filler. I like them. I wish Toph had gotten her actual field trip with Zuko. Annoyed. I feel like Toph got done dirty, and it's whatever. So that's it for this video. Let me know your opinions in the comments below. How do you rank the gang, if you rank them at all, or if you love them equally? Imagine liking characters equally. Could never be me. Will never be me. So, I just wanted to get this off my chest. This video was supposed to come out earlier in the summer when Avatar: The Last Airbender first got released on Netflix, but then I took a World War I class, and then I was like, hey, let's make every chapter of my book a video, and that was a lot more work than I had bargained for. Anyways, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for more random fandom things. Ciao, chicos.